What's up guys, it's Missy. I am back with another SimCity Buildit video, and today we're going to be covering some popular topics, and one of those topics is going to be about Sims Cash, the contest to mayors. Some of you guys may have noticed that you're getting Easter assignments this week. I will explain what to do about that, so if you guys are having questions about that, we'll for sure touch base on that. And then I'm going to answer a couple of questions that were put up on either Facebook or the channel in general. And then hopefully you guys will be set for the week and you guys can get all that stuff taken care of. Okay, so first off, these little promotion bundles that are popping up, these new ones here that you guys are seeing, as you can see, it's like $9.99 for the fire station and 5 gold keys. That's a complete ripoff. Okay, that's pretty obvious. That's a complete ripoff. All right, so first thing, always check your emails. They explain whatever's going on. This is just telling you that season 14 is here, and then you can look at your thing here. Now, here's the thing with the season 14 pass, or any pass for that matter. When you first start earning your rewards, if you wanted to, what you could do is you could hold off on purchasing it and collect the top half of the pass. That way you can leave the bottom half of the pass available for when you have assignments if you wanted to collect some of the top, because you're going to gain so many levels so quickly that I'll do that sometimes. What I'll do is I'll wait till I hit like level 20 before I purchase the pass, and then I'll collect the whole top half, leaving the bottom half available to collect when needed. That's because of the neo-simoleons or the dozer I'll leave in storage unless I want to give it to somebody. So I'll leave the dozer uncollected. But what I'll be able to do if I do this is I'll be able to collect the dozer, sell it to the person I'm giving it to, and then I'll still have those neo-simoleons that I can cash in on if I have an assignment for that. Then, or like vice versa with the whole the platinum keys, those you're not going to be using those, for any kind of assignments. You can go ahead and collect those, but you'll be able to collect your Sims Cash and leave your regional simoleons if you want. If you're somebody who doesn't have that unlocked, then you can go ahead and collect that. The war simoleons, there's no assignment for that, so go ahead and collect on that. Now this one here, level 11. There isn't an assignment for your tokens. However, I always leave my tokens uncollected in the past because of the fact that you can only have 35 tokens in your token bank before you're unable to collect them off the top of the houses. You can have more than 35 tokens, but you're unable to collect them. So I will leave them sitting in my pass, as like a alternative storage, so that I can still collect the ones off the top of my houses. If I was to collect this now, I would have to burn through those tokens before I could collect them. So there's really no sense in collecting them now. But this would allow me to collect the wall and leave the tokens so that I could collect the tokens after, the pass is over. The tickets, I can go ahead and collect those right away because, again, there's no assignment for that. Past level 13, I can collect that right away. If you're somebody who's still working on your mountain upgrades, take into consideration that once you collect your deed, you are forced to use that deed before you can use any items. So let's say that you are let's say you're on the mountain, you're on the mountainside and you're like midway, and you have mountain items, but you want to save your deed for the ones that cost more. You would want to leave this uncollected in your pass so that when you get to the ones that cost more, you can go ahead and collect your deed and then use it for the ones that cost more. That is the same for beach and land, okay? Now, the next one would be the 60% off. Normally, I wait to collect this until we have one of those side passes with like the pink plumb bob points, and this will make it cheaper, and then I can get that additional benefit there. Then you've got the VU and so forth. Now we're getting up to like level 18, level 20, something like that. But you guys get the point. You can even wait until you finish the entire pass if you want and purchase it all at once. The only reason I don't recommend that is because then you don't really benefit by utilizing the storage, the temp storage, and the stuff within the pass that you guys would be able to put towards your assignments. So if you're somebody who purchases it right away, fine, that's totally fine, but I usually wait until I get a couple of the beginning things cleared up, and then I purchase it. Okay, the next question that I had is, why am I getting Easter assignments this week? Okay, here's the thing. EA sucks. I don't know if any of you guys realize that now, but they suck. They're assholes and their game is garbage. No, but really, they do stupid shit like this all the time. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, and that is that if you look at your, hang on just a second here. If you look at your residential upgrades, see how the items here are, the items that are being requested are going to remain requested until I either upgrade the house or I deal with it. Like I refresh it or whatever. That being said, if you have a house that's asking for Easter items, what people don't realize is they will see something like this and they'll think, oh, the game's still asking me for this. No, it's not. What's happening is it asked you for it, you never dealt with it, and this is an old request. So what you need to do is you need to re-roll it. So what people will do under that thought process is they will hold on to their Easter items thinking that the game is like broken and still asking them for stuff. When in reality, no, it's not. You just need to refresh it, okay? So you don't need to hold on to any Easter items. You guys can go ahead and sell all of those off. But take into consideration, same thing goes for your war deliveries. You know, if you had like 3 or 4 deliveries that you had not dealt with, that it is possible that those could have Easter items in them. Now, sometimes EA will, for like the week following the store, they will give you requests for stuff that you can't do. So don't be surprised if you do get a new house upgrade that is asking for Easter stuff this week. That isn't impossible, okay? But as time progresses on, you should not see any kind of new request, right? Now, here's the next thing, is your Contest of Mayors assignments. Now, what you need to take into consideration when looking at your assignments is algorithm of the task, the type of task, and the points value, okay? So what you need to think about here is, let's say that you get an Easter assignment, let's say it's worth 900 and it's a production Easter assignment, right? Obviously it would be production. So what would you do? Would you cancel it because you can't do it? No, right? It's too low value to want to cancel. But how is this affecting your week this week? Well, let's look at the type of task. It is a production task. So production tasks can come in multiples, but it is going to lessen your odds of getting more production tasks in general. However, it's worth that that little bit of risk is worth it versus canceling it. Because what's going to happen if you cancel it is you're opening up the possibility of it coming back with a higher value. That's when you would look at the points value, right? So if you have an Easter egg task at 900 and you cancel it, you open up the possibility of it coming back with a higher value, which you would not want to do, right? But let's say that you have a Easter task and it comes in worth 2,000 points or higher. Well, now we're talking a little bit different here, because now it's taking up one of those 2K placements. So it really depends on what level you are. If you're a higher level player and it's worth right around 2,000 points, it's possible that you may never have to cancel it or deal with it. If you're a midway player, you know, like level 18 to 24, and you're following my Contest of Mayors guide, then you will likely have to deal with this at some point. But for now, unless it's worth 3,000 points or higher or 2,400 points or higher, then you will likely not be canceling it. Take into consideration that if it is there with a low value, that you should leave it. And if it's there worth, you know, 3,000 or higher, it absolutely needs canceled. But if it's there worth about 2,400, you'll have to assess your list. And by that, I mean you will have to look at all your other 2K tasks and see what's there. You know, like how many tasks do you have that are Easter tasks? How many of your tasks are other tasks? Then you need to take into consideration, you know, what can pop up in the future. For example, one of the people in my training course had mentioned that it could possibly pop up higher upgrades. Yes, that's true, but it also costs one of your lower placements, and that's another thing that people don't realize. So let's say that you have a 900 Easter egg task, and you're wanting your upgrades to come in worth a lower value. One of your lower values is now taken up with a production Easter task, so that is going to be a negative for you, but canceling it is more of a negative. So either way, I mean, it's a shitty situation, but you're going to have to do the best that you can this week. Just know that everybody else has those Easter assignments in their list as well, and if as long as you're dealing with them, you know, the best that you can, you're going to be unaffected by them in comparison to everybody else, because everybody else will likely cancel them. Everybody else will probably be like, oh, I can't do this, I'm going to cancel it, and not realizing that it's going to come back. And when it does, it could come back with a higher value, thereby blocking other tasks of coming in worth a higher value, dropping your average, and just all around causing you nothing but problems. So again, if it's not worth 3K or higher, you probably should, if it's worth 3K or higher, you need to cancel it. If it's worth 2,400 to 2,800, you will likely need to cancel it, but you'll have to assess your list to be 100% sure. Anything lower than that, you should leave it, okay? All right, so moving on to the next question, and I seen this one on a different Facebook group, and that was somebody asked what they should spend their Sims cash on. Now, I do have videos about this, and I'm going to be doing a more updated version, but in short version, basically you need to first off figure out what level are you. Okay, that's going to make a huge difference on what you spend your Sims cash on, and how much Sims cash are we talking here? You know, do you have a way to get more Sims cash? If you're level 24, you're playing Mega, you're winning, then, you know, it's going to be different for you than it would be for, let's say, somebody who's level 80 and only has like 1,000 cash and has no way of getting more. So, you know, it really depends. But in short version, let's say that you guys are, you know, a lower level player, maybe between level 20 and 30, and you guys have 1 mega and you want to know what to spend your Sims cash on. Well, first and foremost, you need to keep some remaining cash to add to it, right? So if it costs money to make money, then you need to have that money to make more money, meaning you need to pocket some of that for your next round of mega. Then you need to assess what in the game costs cash, right? And that would be the maxes, the shop slots, the rare items in general, right? And then buildings. Now, who in their right mind would buy storage when they can find it easily? So the reason that I'm answering your question on here is because the person that answered it in the comments, they had said storage, always buy storage. Basically, you're an idiot if you don't, kind of thing. And that to me was extremely ignorant of that person to say, because you really shouldn't be buying storage at all, especially at your level. Why would you? You know, why would you spend cash on storage when you could easily obtain it without spending cash? Now, what people don't realize is, think about how many storage pieces you have to hit max storage, and then add up the cost of what it would be if you were to spend it Sims cash, right? So if it's, I believe it's like 18 cash to buy a storage piece. Now think about this for just a minute. At the end of your, okay, so how it works is every 5 times you upgrade your storage, the cost of your amount goes up by 1. So if your cost is 10 of each, then you can upgrade 5 times. At the end of that 5 times, it's now going to be 11 of each. And it's going to cap out at 25 of each. And it's going to remain 25 of each until you hit 700. Okay? Think about how many pieces that is. That's 75 pieces every time you upgrade from there on out. That's insane. Okay? Now, the fact of the matter is you're talking about spending 18 Sims cash on just one piece. Okay, so let's say that it's 10 of each. That's 180 times 3 just to upgrade one time to get 5 extra space. Can you imagine spending that in dollar form? Look at the dollars that you get here. Okay, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So when somebody comes on here and they say, oh, buy storage. No, don't buy storage. The only time you should justify buying storage is if you're, 1, a high level player, and 2, it's a promotion bundle deal, like, 60% off or something, and you're getting, X amount of pieces for 100 Sims cash or whatever. Those deals are absolutely worth it to the high level players. Okay, that's going to be probably the only way that you're going to be able to max out your storage unless you have several feeders. Now, it just doesn't make sense to spend your valuable Sims cash on storage when you can find them. That's foolish. Not only that, but you're going to be obtaining them in the Mayor's Pass. You're going to be getting them in, opinion bubbles, trading with group members, group chest, gift bubbles, global. Why in the hell would you spend your Sims cash on storage? That's just foolish. Okay, so don't listen to the people telling you guys to do that. Now, what should you spend it on? Well, first off, you need all of your shop slots unlocked, every single one of them. If you want to be successful in the game, and you can say, oh, I can get by with 6 or 4, whatever. But the bottom line is, if you want 100% efficiency, you really do need all 11 in every shop, so that when you go to bed, you can set up 11 pieces, so that when you want to prep for the contest, you can prep 11 pieces. It's going to maximize your money. Sure, there might be times where you're on the game and it doesn't matter, but how many times do you not make it back in time, and your shop could have been making items, but now it's not because you don't have enough space or slots. So eventually, at some point, yes, you are going to want all of your shop slots unlocked. Now, if you're following the Missy's Building Guide, you should be able to do that relatively easily. In fact, I know you can. Following my guide 100% as it should be followed, you will be able to unlock all of your shop slots, no problem. Then you move on to your maxes. Okay, so shop slots are going to be your first main thing that you're going to focus on. Then you're going to look at depot slots, for sale. That is more of a courtesy thing. You will need to be able to post things for sale. So you will want to try to get those depot slots unlocked. I believe there's 32 depot slots, and I think you start with 6. So, I mean, they're $10 each. Honestly, it's not a huge deal. A couple hundred Sims cash and you unlock the whole thing. Then you have your maxes. Now, the maxes is going to be the majority of where you spend your cash. You will want these. Now, if you care about design or you care about pop, you're going to want the maxes. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, I can do just fine without it. Yeah, you can, but if you're talking 100% efficiency, if you're talking, I want to have a badass looking map, you're not going to want to deal with moving around a bunch of stupid fire departments and health and all that. It honestly is a pain in the ass. Then you take into consideration that the maxes also provides you with 1 VU item a day that you are allowed to purchase for coin. Now, that's 4 VU items a day just on your capital map, which is great. Think about how many keys that can be when you stack them up, or points towards the contest. So it's a steady flow of VU, which is nice. For those of you who are wanting to have a high pop city, it's going to save you guys a ton of space on those surfaces, and it's going to make it so much easier to get those grid layouts to lay out your pop boosters and your residentials, because you won't have all these stupid hospitals and stuff that you have to worry about. Now, a lot of people, what they don't realize is that the first one costs 1,000 cash. The second is 2,000. The third is, I believe, 4,000, and the fourth is 8,000. So they are expensive. I believe it's 15,000 if I remember right for all four. After that, you're allowed to buy one per regional map at an $8,000 price tag. Now, when you look at the real money converted to Sims Cash, that's a $100 building. Okay, the last one would be considered $100 in real money. So the fact that you're able to complete this on the Missy's Building Guide without having to spend any real money is, well, aside from the pass, is actually really awesome, you know? So, for instance, CPT, Sid, you know, everybody in my group, almost every single person in my group that's been following the Missy's Building Guide from, I want to say, about 2 to 8 months, maybe 2 to 8 months, they managed to basically complete the entire guide. They all have 4 maxes, and CPT sitting on 16,000 Sims Cash after buying all of those maxes, and after spending all the Sims Cash on shop slots, depot slots. He's bought an obscene amount of, you know, buildings and trees and water and things like that. So, you know, if you play efficiently and strategically, you would be surprised at how little you have to pay to play this game. But if you do not play strategically and you follow a lot of the things that are said on Reddit, or you listen to people on Facebook, you're not going to get very far. You're going to spend a lot of money, you're going to waste a lot of time, and, you know, the problem is people think that they know what they're talking about when it comes to this game, because they think that the only thing that matters with this game, if you go and ask pretty much anybody on Facebook or Reddit advice, they're going to tell you storage is number one, always do your highest assignment, camp forever. That's basically the gist of the advice you're going to get out there, and none of that is true. Yes, storage is very, very important. It is not the only important thing. It should be your main focus, you know, when it comes to the items that you should be, you know, seeking. But all of the other aspects of the game hold very important placement, is what I'm looking to say. Like, everything has its value in the game, right? You know, so like people think that they can just avoid one aspect of the game and focus on another. And really, when it comes down to it, it all comes together. It all intertwines and makes everything flow perfectly and work perfectly. And if you neglect any one thing, you're going to have problems. So do not listen to the people that say shit like that. And if you're somebody that says shit like that, then what you need to ask yourself is, why? You know, why are you saying things like that as if it's fact or as if it's that simple? I guess that's what's always annoyed me about advice that gets given, is people don't say it in a way of like, you know, I think this, or, you know, I'm under the impression of that. It's like, nope, this is fact, and this is the only way, and this is the right way, you know? And when it comes down to it, nothing is that simple, you know? When you ask people, what should I do? Which task should I pick? And if the person isn't asking for more information, odds are they don't know what they're talking about. If they're like, do your highest task. What? I mean, come on. You really think it's that simple? Just do your highest task and all is well? No, it's not that simple, okay? There's definitely a lot more to it than just doing your highest task, especially for you lower level players. Now, I've had a lot of people come to me over the last couple of months that are players that have been playing for many, many years. And they're like, you know, honestly, you've opened up a whole different perspective of the game to me. And I'm like, you know, when I first started playing this game, I fucked up big time. Big time. And before I sat down and wrote the Missy's Building Guide, so many people, you know, I warned them like, hey, don't do this. You know, I did this and this is how it turned out for me, you know. And so many people would ask me like, okay, well, what should I do with this?